All right. Well, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate your presence here as I finish my tenure as chair of the CPC, and I get to introduce you to the new leadership of the Progressive Caucus, a truly stellar group of leaders who are going to move us forward in the next term. The CPC has been my ideological home in Congress and always will be, and it's been a real honor to lead it and to grow it substantially over the 6 years that I've been first co-chair and then chair. Just imagine our co-founder, Bernie Sanders, used to say that the CPC was a place where a few people came to complain. Even 6 years ago, the CPC was significantly smaller and at that time had just one full-time staff person. Today, thanks to our investments and our reforms, we have grown the caucus to almost 100 members, and we've quadrupled our staff capacity. And I want to give a special thank you to all of our members, as well as to our truly excellent staff members who have been working so tirelessly and will continue to in the next Congress. The CPC remains the most diverse caucus in Congress, with our members representing all of the ethnic caucuses, as well as a host of professions before they came to Congress, from organizers to teachers, lawyers to engineers, union workers to social workers, and small business owners. And we're united by our deep shared commitment to standing up for opportunity, equality, and justice for the vast majority of Americans who have been left out and left behind. I want to especially thank the previous chairs, including Bernie Sanders, also my mentor and friend, and the first woman of color to serve as a co-chair of the Progressive Caucus, Barbara Lee, who's with us, and also Lynn Woolsey, who is her co-chair, Raul Grijalva, and Keith Ellison, and of course Mark Pocan. Since our founding back in 1991, CPC has always been on the front lines of every fight for justice, with our core economic agenda at the center, an agenda that has always been and will always be deeply intertwined with racial justice and gender justice. The CPC was the first to call for a $15 minimum wage. We successfully advocated the Obama and Biden administrations to raise the wages of federal contract workers and passed amendments on the House floor that would strip federal contracts from employers who violate workplace rights and safety. We ensured that the House voted to pass paid sick leave for rail workers. We have been leading champions of the PRO Act, the Medicare for All Act, college, pre-K, and child care for all, ensuring housing is a human right, and so many other issues. And regularly, you will find CPC members on picket lines everywhere across the country, standing up for workers. And of course, the biggest pieces of legislation of the 118th Congress, from the Infrastructure Bill to the Inflation Reduction Act to the CHIPS and Science Act provisions that prevented corporations from engaging in stock buybacks, and much, much more, were all thanks to the leverage of the CPC members who stuck together and demanded more over and over again. We're in this fight to fix wealth and income inequality, to rebuild our economy so that it works for working people, and to give poor and working people across our country hope. Hope that they can afford groceries. Hope that they can fight the biggest corporate monopolies that are driving out small businesses. Hope that they can simply leave a little something for the next generation. And that's why, despite our losses in November, we still see a clear path forward. On offense, we have to rebuild our party and focus on making sure that the economic gains don't just go to the wealthiest, as they have for the last 30 years, but rather lift up workers who haven't seen their real wages increase in that 30-year period. We have to lay out the vision for affordable housing and universal child care, the two biggest inflationary costs that families are dealing with right now, that progressives did address here in the House with Build Back Better, but was blocked by two conservative Democrats in the Senate. And we have to have a laser focus on showing people clearly how their lives will be materially different when they wake up in the morning and think about their family's future. On defense, we'll do what progressives have always done and lead the fights to stop the worst of the incoming Trump administration, focus on the deep unpopularity of Trump's tax scam 2.0, and stop efforts to cut Social Security, Medicare, and other benefits. And of course, all the way to protect our most vulnerable communities of folks of color, immigrants, poor people, LGBTQ, and women that will always be targeted. I've always said that being progressive, when I'm asked what it means, just means that you are the first to the best and most just idea. You've heard me say it many times in this room, and other people then run to catch up and claim it as their own. We've seen that time and time again with red states in this past election, raising the minimum wage or offering paid leave on the ballot or ensuring abortion access. And if politics is the art of the possible, then it is progressives at the Progressive Caucus and outside of Congress who push the boundaries of what is seen as possible, because the possible is never static. It is only what you make it to be when you organize. So today it is my great honor to introduce you to the next unanimously elected leadership for the Congressional Progressive Caucus in the next term, an incredible group of members. Chair-elect Greg Casar, who represents the great state of Texas, will be the first ever chair from a Republican-dominated state. Chair-elect Casar dove right into the CPC in his first term, did an amazing job serving as whip, exhibited his commitment to the caucus with both leadership roles in the CPC and the CPC PAC, and brought incredible organizing experience from his previous government service to building power for workers and immigrants, as well as many new ideas that I know he's going to implement as the next chair. Deputy Chair Ilhan Omar from the great state of Minnesota, there she is, who will continue to serve in this role, also has provided amazing service to the CPC for 2 terms as whip, and then this last term as deputy chair, and will serve in that position again, has been such a brave champion for working people and for human rights around the world. And we're so thrilled that she'll continue to serve. And my good friend and the whip-elect, Chuy Garcia from Illinois, another revered and experienced progressive organizer, coalition builder, and labor movement ally his whole life and here in Congress. I'm going to be cheering these 3 new leaders on as I transition to Chair Emerita, and my heart is very, very full knowing that we have these amazing people in leadership.